Many coaster enthusiasts hold Knoebels in high regard, mostly because of their two classic wooden coasters. Today I will be reviewing Twister, which is actually based off of and inspired by Mr. Twister, which was located in Elysburg Gardens. Presentation. Knoebels is an amusement park and not a theme park, so I don't expect to find any theming with their roller coasters. Twister, however, is carefully and precisely located right behind the water park and built right over the Pioneer train ride. I'm actually really impressed how compact Twister is. There is many levels of track above and below each other. The station is somewhat unique as it's not a straight track like most coasters, but instead it has a curve to it. The exit pathway is pretty cool as it stays in the middle of the coaster's giant helix, which will allow you to get up close to the ride as it rages by. So for presentation, I'm going to give Twister a 7 rating. Intensity. Twister is a very intense wooden coaster. This ride produces strong lateral Gs, some which I would even argue are more intense than the laterals on Thunderbolt at Kennywood. The ride has a couple decent spots of airtime, but that's not what this coaster is about. This is all about the laterals. One of the moments of airtime is actually mixed in with good laterals, which provides a unique experience. Twister is one of those coasters that produces that out-of-control feeling, which also amps up the intensity. Because of how intense the laterals are on Twister, I could see some people not liking this coaster as much. Intensity earns a 8 rating. Fun factor. Like many coasters, Twister is better enjoyed with a riding partner. Just interacting with each other as you're being tossed around throughout this entire ride just makes the experience so much better. As already mentioned, Twister's layout is like a can of worms, which delivers a disorienting experience. If you haven't ridden this ride before, you might be a little confused on what's going to happen next, which is a feeling I love on a roller coaster. I want to be surprised as to what is going to happen next. The front, surprisingly, has a little bit more airtime than the back, and also a little smoother than the back as well. So go with the front if you can only ride once. But Knoebels does a great job with dispatch times, so this shouldn't be an issue. During my visit, the park was averaging a 30-second dispatch time, which is fantastic. I will give Twister another 8 in the fun factor. Originality. Though the ride is somewhat based off the layout of Mr. Twister, Knoebels' version is still different and frankly more unique. The ride uses 2 lift hills to get you up to the tallest point, which is something you almost never see. After the coaster's first lift hill, you make a sharp 180-degree turn and start the second hill climb, which is actually right over the last one. The ride's main element, the massive inclined double helix, is such a cool moment as you circle the station. Because I haven't been on another wooden coaster that's remotely like Twister, I'm giving this ride a perfect 10 for originality. Smoothness. Depending on where you are sitting, the overall smoothness or roughness will vary slightly. After riding a couple times in the front and the back, I'd say the front is somewhat smoother, but it's not a huge difference. Twister has a couple pothole areas throughout the ride, but nothing that would deter me from riding again. Knoebels seems to do a good job of keeping their wooden coasters in decent shape, so I'll give Twister a 6 rating for smoothness. The final score comes to 7.8, which is a solid rating. Twister is a crazy, out-of-control wooden coaster that complements the other roller coasters in the park. Though lacking in airtime, this ride makes it up with sharp turns and plenty of head choppers. So what do you think of Twister? Do you prefer this over Phoenix? Let me know in the comments section. Also subscribe and please check out some of my other content. Till next time, later.